Okay, so let's start with eDoer, as I said, and currently this is the team who's working on eDoer, but obviously with Dahlia, it's going to change as of 1st of March. We're going to have two new colleagues in the team, and let me tell you a bit about our motivation. So how did this project start? So basically, long time ago, that was back in 2011, we started, that was the advent of the big data movement in education. We started realizing that we can, with this big data movement, we can really put the current systems into some sort of innovation cycle. So to move out from the current system, which is based on the very traditional industrial setup, where we have a system, we push in a number of students, and based on set curriculums, which are designed for a person who doesn't really exist, we at the end of the system, at the end of the pipeline, we will have people with very similar backgrounds, very similar skills and knowledge. And we thought that maybe this is something what we can change with the advent of big data and the advent of intelligent technologies, and start focusing on the person, start focusing on the learner. But of course, this is a difficult exercise because learning is personal. It's driven by a great number of individual learning objectives, learning goals. People have different background, different experiences, and different learning contexts. So if we start designing systems for this purpose, so to personalize learning experience, we have to be mindful about the complexity of this situation. So basically, the general objective of eDoer is kind of simple: empower learners through personalized learning and curriculum recommendations. So it's not only about delivering content, but also content in a structure on the basis of individual learning objectives and openly available educational resources. So eDoer is all about openness. The code is open. It's community-based. So we try to motivate communities of practice and communities, researcher communities, whatever communities, to come and develop curricula collaboratively. And also the content is open. So everything what is in eDoer is freely and openly available on the internet. These are not only traditional open educational resources. So oftentimes these material doesn't really have a clear license, but since we are not storing any data, we are not storing any educational data, you should think of eDoer as a pointing system which points towards content. This is for us not a limitation. We really think that whatever content what is made available on the internet free of charge, we can reuse it or try to use it for education and for learning. So this is the general objective. And how does it work? Basically, eDoer has two main components. Component one is what we call content curation. And there we developed intelligent algorithms. And these algorithms, together with experts, they co-curate, they co-create curricula and populate curricula with openly available learning content. And once this sort of knowledge base is ready, we offer this knowledge base for learners. And again, learners, together with the intelligent algorithm, can tailor down this knowledge base to their own needs, to their own context. So basically, first, we establish a quality managed knowledge base where the quality is controlled both by algorithms and experts. And then learners can take this knowledge base and start learning. How does this work? What is the model we are working towards? Not all of the components, what you see here, is completely implemented, but this is sort of our sort of target when it comes to the concept behind eDoer. So the story starts with the learners. We had a learner route. The learner has to set some sort of learning objective towards his or her learning. And based on this objective, we sort of recommend courses which fit to those objectives. And based on these courses, we create a learning pathway. So what topics are necessary to meet the goal of the learner? And then we assign learning content to those topics. And then we have some ways to monitor the learning process and provide feedback to the learner. It's a dynamic approach. That means if a learner changes his or her learning goals, then the whole structure behind his or her curricula and the content, of course, will change and adapt according to the new goals. And in the background, experts and algorithms, they support this learning process. So basically the experts, they create sort of a 4-level structure, which includes journeys, what we can translate to learning goals, courses, learning topics, and educational resources. A journey consists at least one or more courses. A course consists of at least one or more learning topics, and learning topics have at least one or many educational resources. And the experts, currently the experts decide on on this structure and the elements on this structure. And the algorithms in the background, they always suggest to those experts content for this structure. For instance, if an expert starts curating a journey, then our algorithms will start offering potential courses for the expert. Like if you start a journey on research data management, then the algorithms will start offering potential course titles like, oh, maybe fair data principles, or data management in general, or, you know, I'm not an expert in data management, but you can imagine that there are like bigger topics what our system will recommend. And these recommendations are based on existing taxonomies, like the ESCO taxonomy, or in the background, we have the ability to mine vacancy announcements globally. And from these vacancy announcements, we can mine out skills, knowledge, or whatever task elements of professions. And then we can suggest these elements to the experts as courses. We can also look at there is technology available where we did CV mining, so curriculum vitae of people. And as the other presenters during this workshop will talk about, we also made connections available to reuse and use knowledge graphs, which are relevant to that journey. So once the expert decided on what courses a journey entails, then he or she can start populate these courses with learning topics. And again, our system will start recommending potential topics which fit to a course. Based on what basis? In the background, we are mining quite a large amount of educational resources, and we run topic modeling. So we are trying to understand what these educational materials contain, and based on their content, we are trying to recommend topics to courses. We also have means of mining curricula, and again, knowledge graphs can play a role here. And last but not at least, we have to populate learning topics with content. And there our algorithms help again. First, searching for content. So there are automatic search functions in the background which try to identify what content may fit to a specific learning topic. And then we also apply automatic filtering of those content in order to establish some sort of, establish a high quality knowledge pool. And this filtering, it can be topic-based filtering, metadata-based filtering, and technical quality-based filtering. And then we confront the expert with the final result of this filtering, and the expert decides what type of content then lands or can land to a topic. So this is the big picture. And then let me show you the system itself. How does it work? So probably, can you read the text, or shall I make it larger? Probably it's better if I make it a bit larger, like this. So let me show you the system first from the learner point of view. So what the learners do. And before I start, there is one disclaimer here. The system is still in a prototype stage. It's quite an advanced prototype, but we are not offering it as a service yet. But this is definitely our plan. And this version, what I show you, we already refer to it as a legacy version, because we are right now in an in-between situation. What I show you, that was really the research prototype, which was not really what we cannot really scale because of the underlying technology. But we are now moving, and this is what Reza will show you later, to a new a platform which looks a bit different, which will look a bit different. And so we are now in this in-between situation, but the new sort of outlook, the new interfaces, and of course the new backend, which is associated with the front end, is almost ready. So quite soon, this interface will look a bit different, but we will keep most of the functionalities what I'm going to show you here. Good. So how does it work from the learner side? Very simple. You just have to think about what do you want to do. So what is your learning objective? What is your learning goal? Let's say I want to learn Python. Then the system will give you already like recommendations, courses related to Python, or journeys related to Python. So here, data analyst with Python, I can click on this journey. And then you see that if you want to learn data analyst with Python, there are 2 courses associated with it: Python programming, data visualization with Python, statistics with Python. And if I click on the plus button, I can sort of save this or add this course to my learner profile. Now it shows up in my learner profile, and I can start learning. And learning is relatively simple. You just click on this course, and you see already the topic of what you are learning. I'm learning now data types in Python. And on the right-hand side, I receive a recommendation from the system, which fits to my profile. And this is, if I click on it, then this time it's a YouTube video. I can watch this video and learn about this very specific content. We're not going to watch this now, but I guess you understand the concept. How does it work? If I don't like it, then I can say I need another content. then I will receive another content. But if I click, I'm not going to click it. I can go to your, I can go to this educational resource. On the left, I can see all the topics, what I have done for this course, and all the upcoming topics. If I don't like the order, I can simply reorder them. Or the order is defined by the experts. So the experts can define how the topics should follow each other. But we try to be quite flexible and give responsibilities on the shoulders of the learners, so the learner can modify and fine-tune this curriculum according to his or her needs. And of course, you don't have to take all the topics if you don't want. It's your selection. Maybe we can discuss about this later. And I guess in the project itself, we should be mindful that this type of technology should come with didactical tips and support for the learners. So just offering the technology itself, I believe it will result in like limited performance or limited experience from the user. But if we embed it in a number of didactical contexts, or we give tips for the users how to learn, how to make the best out of it, then I'm quite sure that the effectiveness of this technology will be much higher. Okay, so here the user can follow up his or her progress. We give some feedback on the progress of the learner. And in the learner profile, what is interesting, the learner can set his or her preferences towards learning content. And these preferences then basically, what's the right word? Basically, based on these preferences, the algorithms try to fine-tune the content what the person receives. In terms of educational length, what amount of time do I have for learning? How detailed content do I need? What type of content formats do I want to see? I can set this up, and then our algorithms will consider this information when recommending content here. So when you basically see this content here, this is partly based on this information, partly on the information how our users use our system, what type of feedback do they give, what content do they like, what content do they approach and learn. So in that sense, we are not only relying on user preferences only, because those preferences can change or cannot even be. So sometimes users, they just don't really know what do they really like. But if we see how do they behave in the system and then fine-tune recommendations accordingly, that is that gives more reliable results. You can also add assessments to the system. You can add assessment on topic level. So if someone says, I have learned this topic and wants to jump to the new topic, we can show assessments or test questions related to that specific topic. And we can also offer assessments on a course level, which are more holistic, try to cover or should cover the knowledge what has been gained through the course. If someone wants to, and one last thing, learners can create their own learning portfolio. So for instance, if I want to add another course on something completely different, like I feel stressed and I want to do something about it, I can add a course on stress management. And and I can basically, like this, I slowly can put together my learning portfolio, which can contain courses, content, topics from many different angles, but actually are important for my own sort of learning context, learning goals, learning environment. Good. So this is the learner side. Now I want to show you how does this look like from the content curator side. So how do we create all this or curate all this content? So if I, what was it? I think data analyst with Python, exactly. So this was our journey. So I'm now in the system as an expert. I see the journey, data analyst with Python. This journey has 3 courses: Python programming, data visualization, statistics. This is what I have showed you from the learner side. And basically here we implemented our algorithms. And this is where the algorithm tries to inform the expert about potential ideas for a course. So here our algorithms say, okay, for this data analyst with Python course, why don't you add a course called Execute Mathematical Calculations? And then you as an expert, you can decide, oh, I think this is irrelevant for this, or, oh, great, I can add this. And then I push this button, and then the system will ask, okay, where shall I put this in the list of course? Do you want to change the title? Of course, it's always possible to change the title. I'm not going to add this. Again, I'm not a Python expert. But like this, I can continuously populate this journey with new courses. The whole system is not static. I guess you kind of have a feeling that learning is very dynamic here. So the content is always growing, changing, and this is, in my opinion, quite close to what's happening in real life. You see now here I got another recommendation about information confidentiality. This is also something what I can add if I want. But not only the algorithm can give tips or recommendations to the expert, but other people who are using the system, other experts who are using the system. So one can also add manually. There will be no recommendations here now. But if a group of experts, a group of people curate journeys, courses, content together, then they will see each other's recommendations. And the highest ranking expert can accept those recommendations and add it to the curriculum. If I go a bit deeper, I click on the course Python Programming. Here you see the course title. Here are all the topics which are related to the title. And the situation is pretty much the same. There are the suggestions. eDoer Intelligence can suggest topics. Fellow experts, curators can suggest additions, deletions, reorders, and you can start adding assessment questions to this course. I'm just wondering, yeah, so here a topic, a line in Python comes up. I as an expert, I can take a look if this topic fits or doesn't fit, and decide if it fits. It is always possible to add something manually. So just simply adding a topic or a course or whatever manually in the system. So you don't have to work only with the suggestions. Here you also see all the related journeys to this course, because of course one course can be part of a number of different journeys. And I'm not sure, yeah. So here are the top contributors of this course. Reza has a big role in Python programming. And last but not at least, I can click on a topic. This time the topic is Hello World in Python. Here you see there are 4 curated learning content available. And again, the algorithm will offer you a recommendation about this specific topic, and this recommendation is I don't know, it's from a website, Learn eTutorials, and it's about Hello World in Python. So if you think this is relevant, then you can, oh, sorry, where am I here? You can add it to the list of content. And yeah, and here you can also add questions, test questions to this topic. Again, here you can see which courses this topic is related. One topic can be related to not only to one, but many courses, and which people are responsible for this topic, or who contributed the most. Yeah, I think in general, that's it. Let me go back to my slide. There are a few more slides available. Yeah, technologies. And with this, I hand over to Reza. Reza, if you can.
So,
words about the technology.
Can you
say it again?
Can you?
Yes.
Okay. Should I show the new version first quickly before talking about the technologies? I think it's a good idea. Okay, then can I quickly? Then share. Now you see my screen, right? Okay, so
yes, we can see. I can see.
Okay, so this is actually, as Gabor mentioned, we are moving toward a product because the previous eDoer, the one that Gabor was showing to you, was a prototype, was advanced prototype, but now we need to have product. So at the moment we are working on the Android version, but soon, probably in a month, we will have the web version and also the iOS version. So it is in my system, and it is an emulator, so it will be slow, but I try to show you the main points. So like other applications, we have login with Google. Probably later we will add login with other platforms like Facebook or other social networks. And we have forgot password, creating account, and also users can start using the system as a guest. So as Gabor mentioned, we have four components: journeys, courses, topics, and educational packages. So now when a user logs into the system, he or she can view his or her goals, like my journeys, my courses, and after that the system show the user some recommendations, like the latest journeys, popular journeys, and the same for courses, and after that for the topics. And now users can select among the items that they want. So these are in my system, so all the data is not relevant. But if, for example, I click on, let's say, and if I have in the system now 4 courses, and if I click on Python programming, the one that Gabor showed you in the previous system, I will view the Python programming course page. As I started learning this course, now the course view or course page will be different for me. Let's wait. So these are the topics that I'm going to learn. It's not like the previous version, so I can click on whatever topic I want and I will receive educational material. So I don't have to follow the order. So I can click on any of the topics that I want and receive material. And after viewing the material, I can say I need another content, or I learned this topic and the status of the topics will be changed. And I will receive another one, like, for example, in comment in Python, I can say, so at first, I will view this content. And after that, I can, it's, as I said, it's in my computer and my RAM is not that much. So now I can see that I just viewed this content. The status of this topic has been changed. So it's now an ongoing topic because I started viewing the contents. And now I can say, I learned this topic, or give me another content. If I press I learned this topic, I can say I like or dislike this educational package, and press the continue. And now I will go through the next topic, which will be strings in Python, and I will receive another content on strings in Python. And my previous topic, which was comments in Python, is now done. And now I can also review my contents. It's like a history, and I viewed just one content, so probably this content will be shown to me. And I can click on this, and this is the status of the content. So I finished that content, and by clicking on this, I can review my content. Yeah, these are the main points. And also, so actually, because I started learning this content, that view is shown to me, which is the learning view. I show it to you again. But in general, the course page is something like this. It's like this. So this is a course, Python programming. The status of this course for me as a user is now following, but it can be not following. And this course has these topics. I can check the topics, I can click on them, and there are some information about the language and type of the course. And the same for topic. If I press on this strings in Python, again, this topic has a page, and we are following some color coding. So topics are red, courses are gray. And yeah, again, this topic has a page. And the last thing I wanted to show you, this is the same also for my journeys. Now I showed you my courses. I can show you the journey that I'm following as a user. And the color coding for journey is something like yellow. And now I can see what goals I am following now, what course. It is now time management, but I can easily add the other courses, and also career planning, but I can easily add the other courses too. And again, as I'm following this journey, this is the view that I see. This is the overall view of the course. But in general, normal users who do not follow this journey will see this page, which contains the overview of the journey, the list of courses of the journey, and the information of the journey, like industry, language, country, and type. Yeah, I think that was it in a nutshell. And I can...
Maybe it's worth mentioning that language actually plays quite an important role, because the underlying algorithms can work in a number of different languages. So we have some intelligent translation methods in the background. So you can, basically the algorithms can co-curate content in really a lot of languages.
So, and now I'm going to talk about the technologies that we use in the new version. Actually, for the front end, we use React Native. So as I showed you, the Android version is almost ready and it is available on Google Play as test application. So you can just search it and find it. And you can also find the link on eDoer.eu/download. The iOS and the web version will be ready soon. The backend, we use Django, so Python Django. And for database, we use PostgreSQL. And for implementing our AI algorithm, we use Python data science libraries like SciPy and NLTK. I think that was it from my side. Stop sharing. Yeah. You are muted, Gabor. And one more thing I wanted to add to the Gabor's presentation. So in the new system, you are not only able to add URLs, but also we are implementing a feature that you can upload material and put license on it. If you are owner of the material, you can put license, open license, and it will be available for users.
Yeah, so a few concluding remarks. As I said, this is a community-based approach. So we use this software in a number of different different projects, and those projects are doing something else. So they develop a piece of technology to the platform, or they develop content for the platform, or curate content for the platform. And for this reason, you know, all of these projects can benefit from each other's work, both from content side, but also from technology side. That's why, for instance, Christian and Hassan and Eleni are here. And I think with this, yeah, thank you for attention. I put some papers at the end. So in case you want to read more, we published quite a few papers about this platform, about the algorithms which work in the background, how do we build it, what is the logic. And if you have any questions, I think we can start the discussion round now.